Okay, so we all know the deal with Warhammer 40K, right? It's just this brutal, uncaring hellscape. We're talking endless, grinding war. Death is literally everywhere. And hope? Ha! That's a resource more scarce than clean water. But what if? What if hidden inside all that horror, there was a secret?
What if I told you there was a god out there, one who actually saw all that mortal suffering and felt, empathy, not indifference? A god who doesn't judge, but instead offers comfort to the broken, the forgotten, the totally desperate. A god who promises to take away all your pain and just replace it with joy? I mean, that sounds way too good to be true for 40K, doesn't it?
And this right here, this is his invitation. It's whispered across the stars, finding its way to the plague-stricken refugee, the starving worker in the hive city, the soldier dying all alone in the mud. It's a promise of rebirth, a brand new start, completely free from all the suffering that just defines the entire galaxy.
But, of course, there's a catch. And believe me, it's a horrifying one. That promise, it comes with a price that is, well, it's almost too grotesque to even think about. This so-called benevolent, joyful God, he is absolutely not what he seems. He's something far, far worse.
Yeah, this is him, Nurgle, the chaos god of plagues, pestilence, all of it. He's the Lord of all, the master of corruption, the one who brings rot and despair to the entire galaxy. He is, quite literally, the sentient end of everything. And that promise of joy? Oh, it's real, all right. It's the promise to find pure bliss in the warm embrace of filth, body horror, and just unending sickness.
So, this brings us to the big question, right? The whole point of this explainer. Think about it. On a primal level, we are hardwired to fear disease, to reject it. So why would anyone in their right mind willingly run towards it with open arms? Well, to get that, you first have to understand what they're running from.
I mean, look at life for your average citizen in the Imperium. It sucks. The official line is the Emperor protects. But what's the reality? It's endless, back-breaking work in some polluted, suffocating hive city. It's starvation. It's random violence. It's knowing deep down that you're just a number, a cog in a machine to be used up and thrown away. That whole faith thing, it can only get you so far when your life is pure misery. And when that faith finally breaks, that's when Nurgle shows up, whispering from the shadows. He's offering a way out, an end to the pain, a release from the fear, and this warm, comforting feeling of belonging. But here's the absolute key to understanding him. He doesn't promise to cure your suffering. No. He promises to make you love it. His entire brand of salvation is built on surrender.
This is where his whole philosophy gets really interesting, especially when you put him up against his great rival, Tzeentch. See, where Nurgle offers acceptance of reality, of what is, Tzeentch is all about hope, the promise of what could be. Tzeentch tells you, hey, you can change your fate. But to Nurgle, that is the single cruelest lie in the entire universe. He teaches that hope is just a machine for creating despair, because it's always doomed to fail and leave you even more broken than when you started. So here it is. This is basically Nurgle's 4-step program for completely breaking a soul. It's a path to what you might call joyful despair. Step 1, get him to admit life is suffering. Step 2, convince him that any hope of escape is just a lie. Step 3, push them to surrender. I mean, a complete, total submission to how hopeless everything is. And then, only when they've hit rock bottom, he offers that final, awful gift, a twisted, gurgling kind of joy. He teaches you to find meaning in having no meaning at all.
And, a universe built on endless war provides a lot of raw material for a guy like Nurgle. So real quick, the warp, it's basically an ocean of psychic energy, and it's fueled by mortal emotions.
In the 41st millennium, as you can see, the negative stuff, rage, fear, despair, it just completely dwarfs any positive emotion. And all that negativity gives birth to these monstrously powerful gods who literally feed on it.
So for the people who have completely given up, who have hit that rock bottom we talked about, Nurgle doesn't show up looking like a monster. To them, he's Grandfather Nurgle. He's this cheerful, caring, fatherly figure. He finds the outcasts, the desperate, the forgotten, and he offers them a community, a family, a promise that they'll never, ever be alone again.
And this whole twisted family thing, it's got a whole structure. You've got the great unclean ones at the top. Think of them as his cheerful, dad-like generals. Then you have the plague bearers, who are like these grim, humorless accountants, just tallying up every single new infection. Below them are the beasts of Nurgle, who are basically playful, slobbering puppies made of decay. And at the very bottom, you have the Nurglings, his mischievous, giggling little children who are literally tiny pieces of himself.
His mortal followers usually fall into one of two buckets. On one hand, you've got the plague cults. These are secret groups made up of regular, desperate folks. They're the ones poisoning the water supply, whispering his promises in the darkest corners of the hive cities. But then, you've got the war bands. These guys are the opposite of secret. They are his chosen champions, his elite Chaos Space Marines, proudly wearing his diseases as armor and marching to war to spread his corruption with this overwhelming, disgusting, joyous force.
You know, this whole philosophy, it has a physical home. Deep inside the madness of the warp is a place called the Garden of Nurgle, and it is a grotesque parody of life. We're talking a massive, festering swamp filled with rotting trees, rivers of pure sludge, and mushrooms that literally weep infectious pus. But for him, it's also a place of creation. It's his personal lab where he gets to cultivate and perfect his diseases with this really disturbing fatherly devotion. And his garden isn't just random chaos. Oh no, it operates on this really precise, endless cycle of decay and rebirth. For Nurgle, this is the perfect ecosystem. Nothing is ever wasted. Every single death, every little bit of rot is just the start of a new, even more horrifying kind of life. It's a never-ending chain reaction. It's entropy turned into a vibrant, living hell. Right at the heart of this garden is his crumbling mansion, and inside that is his workshop. This is where Nurgle himself stands over a massive cauldron, one that's said to be big enough to hold every ocean in the galaxy. And he just stirs. He giggles and hums to himself while he tastes his creations, tweaking the recipe, perfecting the plagues that he's going to unleash on the universe. Okay, so let's put it all together. We've got this loving grandfather, a happy little demonic family, a vibrant, if disgusting, garden. He gives his followers gifts. He promises they'll never be alone again. But with all this talk of family and gifts and love, is any of it real? Is there any genuine affection here? Or is it just a mask for something much, much more sinister? And this is the most horrifying part of it all. Nurgle's love isn't just some twisted fantasy. It's a direct playbook for coercive control, for real-world abuse. He specifically targets the vulnerable and the broken. He showers them with comfort and belonging. That's a classic tactic called love bombing. He gaslights them, constantly telling them that hope is a lie and that their old life was worthless. And his gifts, the diseases, the rot, that's just suffering, reframed as a sign of his affection. So you see, the ultimate point here is that Nurgle isn't just the god of plagues. He's the god of dependency, the god of internalized oppression. The real horror isn't the disgusting sores or the bloated bodies, as bad as those are. The true horror is the psychological cage he builds around his followers. He convinces them that giving up is safe, that despair is a form of enlightenment, and that their unending suffering is actually love. He teaches them to love their own chains, to adore their own decay. And honestly, that is a fate far, far worse than any plague.